Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Guardians of the CLE podcast. I'm your host, Melanie Kirby, and with me here, as always, is my co-host, James Ellifritz. And James, how we doing tonight?
Is it Saturday yet?
It sure does feel like it.
We need a spring game. We need some live ball.
Yeah, I'm counting down the minutes. It's been a weird week. No NBA all week.
And it's freezing today. It's going to be nice tomorrow, and then it's going to be worse than freezing on Friday. So
that's Cleveland this time of year. We had 50s yesterday, 30 today, 70 tomorrow. And I guarantee you it'll snow for the home opener. I put money on that. We could have 70s now. We're going to pay for it in April.
Yep.
But you got to love it. But thank you, everybody, for tuning in once again. And the feedback, it's been so great on all the recent player guest episodes that we decided to bring you guys a bonus episode this week. And we are lucky enough to have Guardians 2022 fourth round pick out of UNC Charlotte, Nate Furman, with us tonight. Nate, how you doing tonight?
Doing well. Glad to be on here with you guys, and I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, thank you for taking the time. I know the busy long season's about to get started, and you're getting ready to head to your first spring training, start your first professional season. Were you able to take some time away from the game to spend with your friends, family this past holiday season? And what work did you put in to kind of prepare for this first full season?
Yeah, I think the holidays, especially with family and friends, was great. Be able to be back at home in Philly and spend time with them. It was a blast. So really just to prepare for spring training, trying to do everything I can to make sure that my mind and body are ready to go. Really been hitting it hard, doing a ton of baseball stuff and strength conditioning and trying to get ready to go. So I really haven't taken much time off, honestly, this off season. So I think the holidays were great, be able to spend some time, but really just being able to get my work in and be as prepared as I can. So,
are you a Philly sports fan? All the teams?
I am.
What a year for Philadelphia sports! Man, so close.
Yeah, it was a crazy year. I think it was so much fun to see the city react the way that it did when the Phillies were making a run, and same with the Eagles. It was just so much fun to see that, because in 2008, the Phillies won the World Series, and in 2017, the Eagles won. But really, besides that, I mean, there's been some droughts throughout. We
can relate.
Yeah.
We can relate over here.
Oh, my goodness.
And it's
it's great when you get a taste of postseason sports. I mean, it's so cool to see the city come together, and you always get that feeling like this might be the year,
Yeah. There's nothing like it, that's for sure. And postseason baseball in Cleveland is fun. I mean, any of the postseasons are fun, but Cleveland fans come out. We're wild. So I can't wait for the season to get going.
I love it.
So Nate, you played in the Cod League. So what was the experience like there, and how did you adjust going from an aluminum bat to a wood bat to prepare for your professional career?
Oh, it was great. I had a blast in the Cod League. It's one of those experiences that you get to have that you kind of take everything in and just really appreciate it. So being able to do that this summer for a good amount of time was just everything I could have hoped for in an experience like that. I mean, I met so many guys that I still stay in touch with great coaches, great people, and the fans up there were so cool. I mean, they live for that all year, and I got to meet some people that would travel up to the Cape Cod League. They go out there every summer to, for about a week to vacation, and they come out to games, and seeing it was just so much fun. And I would say that the metal bat to the wood bat, it was a quick turnaround. I think I was home for 4 or 5 days after the school season, and then had to hit the road and get up to Orleans. So I didn't have much time to really get a feel for switching bats, but kind of just rolled into it and trusted my preparation and was able to do well. So it was a great time.
Do you keep the same weight then for the bats when you make that switch? Is that part of the help of having to not have to adjust as much?
Yeah, I swing the same length and weight as the metal bats that I use. So that helped, but it's just a different feel. I had to feel out maybe for like the first week or so. Our hitting coach from school was our hitting coach in Orleans. So we were kind of talking through things, and really just a different feel, coming off the bat. So was able to adjust a little bit and get used to it.
Very good.
What was the competition like in the Cape Cod League, kind of compared to what you were used to in Conference USA?
Yeah, it was the real deal. I mean, there was great players up there, and I would say it wasn't. I tried not to make it, too much of a big deal. Like I kind of just approached it as any other game. So to the competition at school and the competition in the Cape Cod League, like I kind of just blur out and focus on whatever I can do to get ready for the game. So I try not to put too much weight in it when I'm playing, but looking back, there were some great players, and being able to be surrounded and all those guys on one field. I mean, I've been following college baseball this year, and there's guys everywhere. I'm like, oh, he was in the Cape. He was in the Cape. So
Yeah.
to be able to say that and to be able to have had that experience, what a blast, and just so fortunate.
Yeah, that's a cool experience. So kind of backing up a little bit, you helped lead your high school team to back-to-back. I'm not even gonna, how do you pronounce it? I looked at it and I'm like, I'm not even gonna butcher that. There's like some silent letters and stuff.
Yeah, Bonner Prendy.
All right. So you helped lead the back-to-back Philadelphia City Championships. You started all 4 years for your varsity team, multiple all-county selections, and you were even the MVP in, I think, 2018. Is there something to be said for having success and learning what it takes to win at such a young age and the sacrifices it takes to be great? Do you see that as something that's been able to help you as you've continued to progress in your baseball career?
Yeah, I think a lot of it applies. In high school, you had just like in college, and as you get older, there's so many distractions. There's people that want to go out and want to do things, and you want to try and do all these things, but there's not enough time. Like if you really want to commit to something and do something to the best of your ability, like there's going to be sacrifices, and I learned that especially in high school, which was great for me. I had two older brothers that kind of led the way for me, and to be able to realize at a young age like that it takes everything you have. I mean, you can't be 1 foot in, 1 foot out. So to be able to learn that and still practice those, stay true to those values today, it's helped me a ton. And I had a great high school experience, and I'd be lying if I said I didn't get roughed up a little bit in college. I mean, my freshman fall was no joke. But those same values that I followed and those habits in high school that I could take with me to college helped me a ton, and helped me adapt and get things going.
Well, sometimes. Go ahead, Mel.
I couldn't help but notice. I wanted to get this in. I couldn't help but notice your birthday was July 23rd. Mine's actually July 24th. So it caught my eye. I'm like, okay, we got a fellow Leo.
What a month.
That is quite the month. And Leos are known for like having great leadership skills. It's like one of our big qualities. Do you see yourself as a leader on the field?
Yeah, I think so for sure. I'm not a huge like scream in your face vocal kind of leader. Kind of try to lead by example and um just kind of create relationships with guys, and if there's something I think I could help with that could help the team, or help whatever we're doing, I want to have a good enough relationship with that guy to be able to talk to him one on one, and we can just figure some stuff out. And I think with me creating relationships like that, it helps both sides. If I'm not doing things the right way, or if I need somebody to kind of get me going, I hope that I have the relationship that they could come up to me and we could have kind of a two-way street.
So, failure is a great teacher, but, you carried a lot of your success right into college, even though you've mentioned some struggles your freshman year. Last year, you were second team all conference USA. You leave Charlotte with the second highest OBP in program history at 482, career batting average of 351, top 10 in program history. And then, oh yeah, by the way, team MVP. So you had to be doing something right there. So how would you sum up your 49er career leaving after your sophomore season?
I To be honest, I can't really put it into words. It was an unbelievable experience. It was the best 2 years of my life. To be able to win ball games and to be able to do it the way that we did it the right way. That Coach Woodard at Charlotte runs a tight ship, and we had such a great group of guys both years. And I think that the culture and the relationships that we all had really helped my success. And man, it was just so much fun. I had a blast. And I went through some stuff my freshman year, like we mentioned a little earlier, the freshman fall, and they stuck with me. I mean, I didn't play a ton really early in my freshman year in the season, and opening conference weekend, we were at Western Kentucky, and I'd gotten a couple of bats. I want to say 3 or 4 bats leading up to that weekend, and I got to start. Our starting second baseman was missing the series, and I got to start at second base, and kind of the rest is history. Just took that opportunity and ran with it. So.
And that's a big part of it, making the most of those opportunities when you're not starting right.
Could you try
away,
again?
which you certainly have.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Yeah, so a big part of it is making the most of those opportunities. And I also noticed you played in all 58 games last season. And they say the best ability is availability. How important is it to you to be able to go out there every game with your teammates? And how do you think the adjustment is going to be for you to play in such a longer season now in the minor leagues?
Yeah, I think it's huge. Trying to the best. I try to the best I can, do whatever I can do to recover and keep my body in the best shape that I possibly can. Because it's a long season. I mean, I thought college was long, playing every game, and the pro ball season will be a lot longer. So really just doing whatever I can and pick up good habits like stretching, kind of taking care of my body post game, post workout. So like you said, every game it's a long season. So to be out there as much as I possibly can is the goal. So trying to do everything I can now and just rely on my preparation and that my body is good enough and ready to go.
So another impressive college stat that you had is you reached base in 56 of those 58 games, including a 28 game reach base streak to start the season. So you finished with a 502 OBP last season.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I don't care what level we're talking about. That's wild.
Exactly. So talk about your approach to the plate, how you develop those excellent bat to ball skills as opposed to just swinging for the fences.
Yeah, one big thing for me, and I don't know when I really picked this up. I want to say it was late in high school as I was going into college, and it was the importance for me of not giving away at bats. So whatever I can do, especially late in the count, whatever I can do to get the bat on the ball is I've always grown up doing that, and I've always hated strikeouts. Like um it was something for me that just didn't sit right. Some guys can accept it, and it's part of the game. Like you have to be able to accept it. But I've always had a tough, I've always had a problem with accepting it. So I guess being stubborn in that sense is a good thing. But yeah, just really doing everything I can to get on base and help the team win. So it's funny you say that about the two games. I remember them like it was yesterday. And
I was wondering that if you
yeah, I
remember those two.
remember. Yeah, I remember those, and looking back on it, gave away some at bats, and uh, was able to flip the page and get right back to it. But I think that the importance of not giving away at bats is so huge for the team, and doing whatever I can to help us win.
It's funny you said that because I remember early in the year last year, everybody was amazed by Stephen Kwan's ability to get on base. Like as soon as he came up to the major leagues, and he's like, I don't like to strike out. Like I used to cry when I was a kid. Like I don't like walking back to the dugout. Like I do whatever it takes to get on base. So it's funny to hear you say that. It's obviously a very important tool the Guardians like their position players to have. And look how far it got the major league team last year. So I love to hear you talk about those bat to ball skills.
Yeah,
Now kind of getting into the draft process. What was that like for you? Because I know there were some questions on whether you'd even be eligible in 2022 with you having a July birthday and the draft being moved back. So what was that whole process like with that uncertainty?
yeah, it was definitely interesting. I was going at the end of the fall. I didn't know either, and I had a advisor reach out, and I went to talk to my head coach at school, Coach Woodard, and he looked at me. He was like, "Are you eligible this year?" I was like, "Coach, I don't really know. I just wanted to come. I'm new to all this stuff. I didn't really know how to go about it. So, but it was definitely interesting. Everything kind of fell in place for me. I playing the school season, I try not to worry about it at all. So, kind of just put everything on the back burner draft wise, and just tried to win ball games with those guys at Charlotte. And um, once the season ended, I think it definitely started to pick up. Like I had found an advisor, and he was dealing with a lot of stuff, and I didn't want to know anything about it. It's kind of funny, this story. He had told me, he said, "Do you want me to be open and transparent about everything that's going on with the draft process?" And I was in the Cape Cod playing, and I said no, I'm good. I don't want to know anything about it, because I didn't want it to take away from what I was trying to do on the field, and win games with those guys in Orleans. So I think a week before the draft, maybe 5 days, my advisor, Dennis Weyer, he's the man. He said, "Do you think you want to know now, Firm?" And I was like, "Yeah, I should probably know, a week of kind of, what to expect." And my family had known everything. They had kind of gotten the whole lay down. So with me not knowing, and him telling me everything, he said that Cleveland was the front runner, and that's
Really?
who we were hoping for. And when they called on day two, was an absolute no-brainer.
So with that gut feeling, and what was he getting?
so cool.
What was it? Different contacts by scouts, or what? How'd you know it was going to be Cleveland?
Yeah, I think it was a lot of conversation he had with people in the Guardians organization, scouts, and executive members, and it was kind of the perfect. He had this saying that the draft never goes as expected. There's crazy things that happen. You don't know, what guys are on certain boards, and kind of it's just a whole crapshoot. You just don't know. And when Cleveland fell into place, and that's how everything happened, it was everything we could have hoped for, and just so grateful.
So you get drafted by a great organization, the Cleveland Guardians. How excited was your family to be about a 7-8 hour drive, if necessary, to come see you play eventually at the major league level?
Man, they were so excited to see. I tell people that ask, to see the looks on their faces. It made everything seem so real. Like it hadn't really set in when my name was called, and I turned around, and I think I hugged my mom first. She was crying like crazy. So to be able to see the looks on their faces, and it was special for sure. And not being too far from Philly, just couldn't have worked out better.
And kind of talk about the relationship with your brothers too. I know you mentioned you had two older brothers that you're really close to. What kind of role do they play in you kind of getting to where you're at today?
They are, I can't really, it's kind of like the Charlotte thing. I can't put it into words how important they are to me. My oldest brother Daniel played Division I baseball at Pitt, and my middle brother Steven played Division I at Iona. So to have two older brothers that were just my two role models growing up. My family has pictures whenever they played when I was younger. Like I would just go and bring my wiffle ball bat. It was everything. Wherever they went, I went. And it worked out that they seemed to always be at a baseball field, so I was always at a baseball field. And for them to lead the way for me, and their wisdom that they've kind of shared with me through their experiences, and they've really helped with my experiences. So they're my two best friends, and they'll be with me for the long run.
What have they did to motivate you to take it past to the level that they've reached, whether it's on or off the field? What do they do to motivate you to be the best version of yourself?
Yeah, just little things, Jamie. Like they kind of shared things that they, have had gone through in their experiences, like you said, both on and off. And one thing that has always been a constant in both of their advice was just be a good guy. Whatever you do, just be a good guy, be a good person. You're representing something bigger than yourself, and for them to be able to have that experience, and because they've seen it all. I mean, they've seen the good and bad of college baseball, and they were able to prepare me what it was going to be like. And I going through college, it's a tough, you don't always find a good fit. Maybe you don't like the coaches, which I got so lucky at Charlotte. But I guess I'm just trying to say that they just prepared me for whatever. I mean, it could have been the worst thing in the world, and I was already prepared, and I was expecting it to not go as I planned. So to be able to expect that going in, and being able to go through it, it was really great having their advice.
I bet they're super excited to hear all your stories now from your professional baseball career. So it's kind of cool how that goes full circle. But after getting drafted last year, obviously it's already halfway through the season. Did you go right to Arizona, or what did that kind of post-draft process look like last season?
Yeah, I think that we were home for about a week. So I had come home from the Cape and was able to be at home in Philly for a week, and then we flew out to the complex in Goodyear, and we stayed there throughout August, September, and then we left in October. So we had instructs that started in September, so that was great. And they did an amazing job at kind of introducing us to everything that is important in the organization, and important things that the hitting coaches do, important things that the infield coaches do, that sort of thing. So it was great to be able to be at the complex and kind of learn what things were going to be like, and be prepared for whatever they were going to throw at us. So I think a lot of organizations sent their new draft picks right out. But looking back on it and playing college and then playing summer ball, it was awesome just to be able to be at the complex and train, kind of meet everyone and for everyone to get to know us. So,
Do you have people in the organization too who help you kind of navigate living life as a minor league player? Because I know the Guardians are a lot better than some organizations with some of the horror stories you hear, about how they just don't really have much support. And thank God, even in the Dominican, they have a great academy over there and they seem to treat their guys right. What kind of like finding a place to live? Like, do you Uber Eats? Like that stuff like fascinates me. Like just living on the road, basically. Knowing you're not going to be there forever. You're just at a level.
right. Yeah, I think the organization is amazing. You can really tell that the organization is really, like when they're looking to draft someone, hire someone, it's always person first. So the Guardians in the draft process they asked me so many questions and it was so in depth on obviously the baseball side, but who you are as a person. And I think they do an amazing job at that when they're hiring people to come in and coach or work. And the people are awesome. Like trying to navigate a minor league or major league season, like you said, is tough. And there's people, really whoever you ask is there to help. I know that Jen Wolf at the complex in Arizona is amazing. I think her title is life skills director. I hope I didn't botch that. But she is great. She's whatever you need, you can reach out to her and if she can help, she'll put you in touch with someone who can help. So being at the complex, she knows the ins and outs of Goodyear. It's almost like she could close her eyes and draw a map. So she's great with that and anything that we ever need, Jen's, the first one. And then, like I said, if she can answer our questions or if she doesn't know, she'll put us in touch with someone that does. So
that's so important.
So you already mentioned about growing up in Philly, being a Phillies fan. Were you too young for Chase Utley? Who was your Major League Baseball role model?
No, it was Chase.
Was it Chase?
Chase, yeah.
He was a good one.
He was, he played the game hard. He played the game so hard. I remember growing up watching him and Jimmy Rollins up the middle and 2008 and 2009 team when they won it in 2008 and then they went back to the World Series in 2009. Just watching those guys, they were so much fun to watch. And Chase Utley definitely stood out. Just, second base, he played the game hard, and just did his thing. He loved Philly. He embraced, the culture and the fans, and he was great.
Yeah, I can tell you, Citizens Bank Ballpark. I was there last year, and I absolutely loved it. And in '93, I was there for the World Series against the Blue Jays.
Wow.
Went to game 4, game 5, Kurt Schillig's 2-0 shutout. At that time, actually, John Kruk, if you remember his name,
yep.
him and my cousin Jamie were actually married at that time.
Wow.
So yeah, that's the one World Series game I got to go to in Philly at Veterans Stadium. So great experience in Philly. I have a lot of love for Philly.
James is showing his age. For the record, I was only 2 in 1993. So
I was in a stroller.
I'm not on that level.
No, I wasn't. No, I wasn't.
It's funny because a lot of people, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, what I hear is that Cleveland and Philly are a lot alike in terms of the fans and the passion. It just sounds like
it's fair.
Great.
We've never booed Santa Claus, but
okay.
Right.
Yeah, that takes a special city, and not many people would boo Santa Claus.
Yeah, these Cleveland fans are passionate to a fault at times, especially when you're talking about the Browns. Like just all the mess with the Browns. It's always stuff with that, but Cleveland
Yeah.
baseball fans are outstanding, and they're riders, and we're always going to be there,
Yeah,
100%.
Browns fans are a different level.
We don't, yeah, they're on
of throwing batteries, dog bones, bottles on the field. Yeah,
booing
so,
concussed quarterbacks. That was their own quarterback.
yes.
Yeah, so that's fun. But speaking of Chase Utley, he was a second baseman. You're obviously a second baseman naturally, and it's no secret this organization's absolutely loaded with talented middle infielders, tons of opportunity for that healthy competition. Have you ever played any other positions, and has there kind of been any discussions about you maybe moving around the diamond to kind of increase that versatility, make the most of those opportunities?
Yeah, growing up, I played shortstop and second base. So I played shortstop in high school for my high school team, and then when I played travel ball, it was primarily second base. But this past year in college, played a little bit of third. Played maybe a game or two of third in the Cape this summer. So I think, and in instructs, got to play third. So there hasn't been any chat or anything from coaches, but wherever I've always been the kind of guy wherever the team needs me. So looking forward to, where whatever they throw at me, like just being ready to go. So open to anything at all, like anything, any position that's on the field. So I'm excited.
Speaking of one of those middle infielders, obviously made his major league debut last year, but your game reminds me a whole lot of Tyler Freeman as far as just approach at the plate, bat to ball skills, OBP machine. You even play the same position. Have you had a chance to meet Tyler yet, or have any discussions with him or any of the other kind of middle infielders you're going to be competing with at the lower levels?
I haven't gotten to meet Tyler yet. I've heard amazing things about him, just from the infield coordinators, infield coaches. So kind of it's funny you say that. The minor league coordinator, we had December camp, and we did a ton of infield work in December camp, and he told me that my mannerisms in the field are a lot like Freeman's.
Yeah,
and
it's crazy.
It was funny that he said that because I had heard amazing things about him. Obviously, a really good player, really fun to watch. I got to see him play on TV this at the end of the summer, so
crazy.
It's great to see him. But the infielders have been great. We've had the off-season camps, gotten to meet a ton of guys. Angel Martinez, Milan Tolentino, Juan Brito, just a ton of guys that are older and have been through it a little bit. So really just, picking their mind, watching what they do, and trying to get better from those guys.
That's super cool. I love that closeness. Yeah. James, we can't hear you. Is your mic on?
How about now? Yeah.
Yeah, we got you now.
Yeah, I just wanted to summarize. Sorry.
I thought my internet was going out again.
No,
Nate, we
no.
we had a
So
guest.
did I.
We had a
So
guest like a month ago, and my power flickered on and out in the middle of the interview. We were like an hour in. It was actually Todd Paquette. I don't know if you know who that is, but he
You will.
it kicked me out of the meeting, and I was panicking because I'm like, oh my God, did I just lose an hour of recording? And James just calls me like, where'd you go? Like, are you coming back on here? Are you done? So I just had like PTSD. I thought my internet just went out again. Go ahead, James.
No, I just want you to sum up what your expectations are for your first pro season.
Yeah, that's a great question. And I've had a lot of time to think about it this whole season, and I think just enjoy it and get better. Whatever, that's the easiest way to put it. I could go really in depth, but every day, just, get better every single day and enjoy the heck out of it. And then once the season's over, look back up and, if I do those two things very, very regiment and as best as I can, I think it'll be a great year.
Very good. Well, I'll tell you what, we're right here at the end. Let's hit some rapid fire questions. We don't have any cool music to play right now. But
We
speaking
need
of
to get
music,
that.
yeah, I know. Speaking of music, walk-up song for this season. What is it?
The Rain, DMX.
Nice.
Okay.
Significance to your jersey number.
The number 6. I wore 6 growing up. It was important to me and my grandfather, and then I wore 16 in college.
Awesome.
Very good. Nickname. What's your nickname and who gave it to you?
Firm, and I got probably just from my brothers. Yeah. My friends call me Firm. My brothers, their friends call him Firm. So
All right. Favorite ballpark you've been to, and which one do you look forward to playing in the most?
Favorite college ballpark I played in, South Carolina, and favorite major league ballpark, gotta be Citizens Bank.
Oh,
It
yeah.
looks
And you
nice.
know what?
It's on my bucket
And
list.
Nate, I'm not just saying this because you're on tonight. Mel, I've said that in the past. When I visited Citizens Bank, beautiful. Love the setting, love the brickwork. Fantastic ballpark. Anybody that's
Great.
listening, please go check it out.
Great place.
The
And
Guards play there this year, I think. I might have to go.
Mhm.
It's that
It-
balanced schedule.
It's not you don't if you do go, don't expect crazy flashy stuff. Like I don't know if there's any other parks. Maybe, the Yankees, they like flashy, and but the Phillies, it's just kind of old school, great stadium. It's really nice, and
Yeah,
just
parking's
great to
easy.
watch ball
I
games.
like that. I like old school baseball. I feel like now they're making parks like nightclubs and stuff. Like it's a social experience and you're not there to watch a baseball game.
Yeah.
It's weird to me.
To answer the second part of your question, Jamie, I would say the place look forward to that I want to play at, Progressive Field, for sure.
Nice. Great
Good
answer.
answer.
All right. Favorite food or restaurant?
Italian food. Love Italian food. Pasta.
Can't go
Double
wrong there.
bubble or sunflower seeds?
Sunflower seeds.
What
What
TV
flavor?
show are you streaming right now?
It's called The Last of Us. It's really popular right now on
Mhm.
HBO
We
Max.
just started that over here.
Kind of crazy. Definitely crazy.
I let a few build up because I don't like watching week to week.
Yep.
So I had to let like 3 or 4 build up.
Good plan. Good
I
plan.
don't like cliffhangers.
If you could have an unlimited supply of one thing, what would it be?
Baseball bats. Wood bats.
Someone just said baseballs.
Yeah.
Was that Logan Clark?
Yeah, it was
He's like,
Logan
those
Clark.
are expensive.
Logan
That's a
said
good
you're
one.
getting expensive. All right. So I
That was
think you've
funny.
kind of answered this, but one last time. Who inspires you the most, both on and off the field?
My parents. I'd say my whole family. If I had a group answer, definitely my whole family. Like we talked about my brothers, but my parents, hardworking. When you think of blue collar, it's my parents. They do everything they can for me and my brothers, and I do everything for them and my family.
Great
That's-
answer.
That's awesome. Well, Nate, we want to thank you again so much for joining us tonight. Do you have any social media where people can find you at, or anything you want to shout out before we let you go?
No, just on Twitter and Instagram. Both my names. I think my Twitter name is firm _6. I think it is. But Instagram's just my name. So that's the 2 social medias I'm on, and go Guards. I appreciate you guys.
Very good. We want to thank our sponsors, Marlou Shoes of Lyndhurst, Seat Geek, and also Carrie's Weight and Wellness Coaching. She's in Lakewood and Aurora. So we want to thank our sponsors quickly.
And we also want to thank everybody for listening to this special bonus episode tonight. Keep listening, keep subscribing, and telling your friends as we count down the days to Guardians baseball. Let's boost into the top 5 Guardians podcast. We're knocking on the door right now, and we're so thankful to all of you for that. But make sure you head on over to BelieveLandMediaLLC.com for all your professional, OSU, and high school sports podcasts and written content. And Nate, thanks again, man, and wishing you nothing but health and success the year ahead.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, have a great season, Nate.
Appreciate it. Go Guards.
Yeah, go Guardians on
Go
Saturday.
Guardians.